At the quiet edge of a small mountain village, there lived an old woman, alone, yet never lonely. Her home was simple, a tiny stone house worn by time, but inside it held something most people spend their entire lives searching for: peace. She had no family, no wealth, no recognition, but every single day she lived with a calm heart and a gentle smile. Each morning she would light a small fire in her fireplace. She'd prepare a humble pot of soup using whatever her little garden offered. And as the day passed, she softly hummed old melodies, songs so ancient no one else in the village even remembered them anymore. The villagers admired her. Whenever life weighed heavily on them, they would visit her, and somehow they always left feeling lighter, because no matter how little she had, she always smiled. Then one evening, just as the sun disappeared behind the mountains, there was a knock at her door.
She opened it slowly and found a stranger standing there. "Who are you?" she asked quietly. The traveler gave a calm smile. "I'm just passing through," he said, "but I've heard about you, about the life you've lived, and today I've come to offer you something, a choice." "A choice?" she repeated. He nodded. "There are 3 doors. Behind one lies your deepest desire. Behind the other 2, only disappointment." The old woman chuckled softly. "At my age," she said, "I've stopped chasing desires." But the traveler insisted. "Just come and see." So she followed him out of the village into a quiet, open meadow. There, standing in the middle of the grass, were 3 doors. One gleamed in gold, one was plain, made of wood, and the last was old, rusted, and worn. "Choose one," the traveler said. The old woman looked at each door carefully, her eyes calm, her face peaceful.
And then, without hesitation, she walked straight toward the rusted door. The traveler frowned. "Why that one?" She smiled gently. "Because," she said, "the most beautiful things in my life have always come in old, worn packages." And with that, she opened the door. Inside, there was nothing. No treasure, no miracle, only dust and silence. The traveler watched her closely, expecting disappointment, regret, even sadness. But instead, she simply laughed, softly, peacefully. "Aren't you upset?" he asked. She shook her head. "No," she replied calmly. "I came into this world with nothing, and I still have my smile. So truly, I haven't lost anything at all." The traveler stood silent for a moment. Then, slowly, he opened the other 2 doors. Behind the golden door, there were mountains of gold, shining brilliantly. Behind the wooden door, there was a mirror, and in that reflection, the old woman saw herself young again, beautiful, wealthy, full of everything she never had. He turned to her and said softly, "You could have had all of this: wealth, youth, a completely different life." She looked into his eyes, still smiling. "More than what?" she asked gently. "More than peace? More than knowing how to smile even in the darkest moments? More than the joy of a simple meal and a quiet heart?" She paused, then said firmly, "No, I already chose the right door." And with that, she turned away. She walked back toward her small home, back to the fire still waiting for her, back to the pot of soup quietly bubbling, back to her soft songs and her gentle, unshaken smile. The traveler stood there, watching her disappear into the distance, and in that moment, he finally understood. Happiness isn't hidden behind golden doors. It isn't something you gain. It's something you carry, even when there's nothing in front of you. And maybe that's the truth people are slowly rediscovering today. In a world chasing more and more, peace still belongs to those who learn to be grateful for less. So be content where you are. Smile even when life feels small, because sometimes that quiet, simple happiness is the greatest treasure of all.